Hi students, how are you all doing? I hope all of you are doing fine and in good health. Let me introduce myself here. I am Mr. K. Devendiran Nair from Form 6 Biology teacher, SMK Methodist Pulau Pinang. The topic that I am going to discuss here is about biotechnology, the last chapter in semester 3. Before we go further, let me introduce the learning outcome of today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to define biotechnology, outline the roles of biotechnology in our life, describe the applications of biotechnology in food, beverages production, such as fermentation and vitamin-rich eggs. Describe the application of biotechnology in agriculture, hybrid rice, herbicide-resistant plants, and transgenic fish. Describe the application of biotechnology in medicine, such as human growth hormones, human insulin, gene therapy, and in forensic department, for example, DNA fingerprinting. Describe the application of biotechnology in public health, genetic screening, diagnosis kits, and oil decomposing bacteria. Students, before I explain the detail about the topic, let us see some pictures here. Do you know what it is? Excellent. The picture shows cheese, hormones, and blood glucose kits. Can you tell me which technology uses living organisms' knowledge to produce these products? Awesome. Yes, it is biotechnology. Students, in today's lesson, we are going to explore a little about biotechnology. Shall we? First of all, let us look into the definition of biotechnology. Biotechnology is the application of organisms, biological systems, or biological process for the knowledge, product, manufacture, and service industries. Biotechnology plays an important role in our various aspects of our life, such as production of food and beverages, for example, baking, brewing, and producing dairy products. Agriculture, by producing genetically engineered pest resistance, herbicide-resistant crops, producing plants and animals with desirable characteristics. Medicine, by producing human insulin, human growth hormones, vaccines, and antibiotics. Public health, such as genetic screening and biosensors in diagnostic kits. Fuel production, such as biogas and gasohol. Enzymes technology, by producing biological washing powder, biosensors, and pectin in fruit juices. Genetically engineering, by human hormones, pest-resistant plants, herbicide-resistant plants, transgenic plants, and animals. Mining, by extracting of metals by bioleaching. Treatment of waste, such as oil spills treatment, sewage treatment, domestic waste treatments, toxic waste treatments, and agricultural treatments. Productions of chemicals such as ethanol, acetone, and polymers. As shown in illustration, the microorganisms used in productions of food and beverages such as lassi drink and sourdough bread through fermentation process. Next, let's look into the biotechnology in the usage of agriculture. Let us see how wild mustard, being genetically modified into various vegetables such as broccoli and cabbage. As the role of biotechnology in medicines, it is used in productions of human insulin, human growth hormones, vaccines, and antibiotics. Dear students, do you know how biotechnology is being used in public health? Yes, there are many examples that we could explain. In the field of public health, there are many kits being used, like the blood pressure monitor, digital thermometer which is being widely used now to check your body temperature and etc. Now look at this illustration of how the cow dung being used to produce biogas for cooking, lighting, fertilizing and heating. It's a good example of how a waste products converted into high value fertilizer and fuel. Next, we will look into the usage of enzymes in various food industry. This is also a contribution of biotechnology in food industry. Such examples are in the honey production and fruit juice. In genetic engineering, biotechnology plays an important role as well. For example, humans, hormone, pest-resistant and herbicide-resistant plants, transgenic plants and animals are produced. This helps in vast productions of genetically modified organisms and foods to meet the demand of highly growing world population. Besides that, the mining industry also uses application of biotechnology in the process of metal extraction by bioleaching. On the other hand, the biotechnology is also widely used in the treatments of waste such as oil spills, sewage, domestic waste, toxic waste, and agriculture waste. Finally, the productions of chemicals such as ethanol, acetone, and polymers also uses the biotechnology in its industry, as in the process of using corn and the corn stove. The bioethanol is used as fuels additives, reduce the emissions of toxics, gas and carbon monoxide. It also an additional revenue sources for farmers. Students, let's go in detail about the roles of biotechnology in productions of food and beverages, agriculture or green biotechnology, medicines, and forensic public health. As in the productions of food and beverages, usage of microorganisms such as yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, in yeast fermentation during baking, brewing, and wine productions. Brewing involves major steps during the production, such as malting to convert stored starch into glucose, mashing to extract mash, boiling, fermentizing, finishing, and bottling. Lactic acid fermentations by bacteria, example Lactobacillus bulgaris, and also Streptococcus thermophilus in yogurt and cheese. Lactococcus species is used in butter production. Modern cheese manufacturing involves major steps such as pasteurizations to kill unwanted microorganisms, inoculating milk with lactic acid bacteria, adding enzymes such as rennet and curdle casein, a milk protein, heating, separating curd from whey, draining the whey, salting, pressing the curd, and ripening. Vitamin-enriched eggs such as vitamin A, C, E, choline, and omega-3. The vitamin content in the eggs is increased by producing highly vitamin content food for the chickens. Next, we will look into agriculture or green biotechnology. Applications of genetic engineering to produce genetic transgenic organisms such as 1. Hybrid rice which results in agronomic qualities, which increases quantity of harvest and improve the quality of food. Herbicide-resistant plants such as corn and wheat, which are resistant towards herbicides such as Basta. Biotechnology application also used to produce pest-resistant plants, plants which is tolerant to resistance towards environmental stress such as drought or acidic soil. Transgenic organisms such as salmon fish, which is genetically modified by transferring foreign gene into them. This increases the growth and size of fish such as salmon and tilapia. The role of biotechnology is the use of medicine, or it is also known as rate biotechnology, and forensic has gone to an advanced level whereby the technology has accelerated to another level within the developing countries such as Japan, US, and Europe. For example, the 1. Productions of human therapeutic proteins such as human growth hormone and insulin and enzymes through genetic engineering. Gene therapy involves gene supplementations or gene replacement through genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology to overcome genetic diseases such as cystic fibrosis. The procedure of DNA fingerprinting in forensic work and paternity dispute. Genetic fingerprinting involves a major stages such as A. Extraction of DNA from sample. B. DNA digestion by restriction endonucleases enzymes. C. Gene electrophoresis to separate DNA fragments. D. Alkaline added to speed double strand into single. E. Southern blotting. F. Hybridization using labeled genetic probes. And G. Develop DNA profile. Number 4. Developing of artificial blood such as hemopure that is made from the hemoglobin of cattle. 5th, tissue engineering technology for skin grafting and tissue replacement. For example, skin substitute for wound healing. Dear students, now I have come to the very last role of biotechnology and to the extent that it has penetrated into public health as well. Look how the hospitals are using the advanced technology in their health industry, which shows the high-tech, unwavering aspects of the industry. Number 1, genetic screening, including DNA analysis to detect the mutant genes or to screen presence of genetic disorder such as thalassemia and Down syndrome. 2. Diagnostic kits or biosensors to detect and measure chemical compound in our body such as blood glucose level. 3rd, oil decomposing bacteria such as genetically engineered Pseudomonas, which facilitate the biodegradation of crude oil. This helps in treating oil wastewater and reduce the water pollution. Dear students, let us see how much we understand from the lesson today. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. The first question, what's meant by biotechnology? Yes, the answers: application of organisms, biological systems, or biological processes for the knowledge, products, manufacture, and service industry. Look at the second question. State the importance of biotechnology in our daily life. Okay, we have quite a number of answers here. You only need to choose any 3 points. The first is productions of food and beverages. For example, baking, brewing, and producing dairy products. The second, agriculture, by producing genetically engineered pest resistance and herbicide resistant crops, producing plants and animals with desirable characteristics. Number 3, medicine, by producing human insulin, human growth hormones, vaccines, and antibiotics. 4, public health, such as genetic screening and biosensors in diagnostic kits. 5th, fuel production, such as biogas and gasohol. 6, enzymes technology, by producing biological washing powder, biosensors, and pectinase in fruit juices. 7, genetic engineering, such as human hormones, pest-resistant plants, herbicide-resistant plants, transgenic plants, and animals. 8, mining by extraction of metals using bioleaching. 9, treatments of waste such as oil spill treatments, sewage treatments, domestic waste treatments, toxic waste treatments, and agriculture waste treatments. And the last, productions of chemicals such as ethanol, acetone, and polymers. Now, let us look into the third question. Give 4 opinions on the advantages of green biotechnology. At first, for the answer, you have to explain what is green biotechnology, or you have to introduce what is green biotechnology. So the answers are like this. Green biotechnology is also known as agricultural biotechnology. Plants which is designed to resist pests and herbicides reduce the usage of harmful chemicals which will cause hazardous to consumers. Second, plants which tolerate environmental stresses such as drought will make agriculture more efficient and sustainable by producing more food in less land. This helps to meet the world growing population's demand. The next, transgenic organisms such as higher growth rate of salmons will increase the income revenue and reduce the catch of fish in sea. This will sustain the population of fish in sea. And the last, partial inactivation of the polygalacturonase gene increase the time between flavor development and spoilage of the fruit. This delays ripening of fruits and vegetables such as GMO tomato, thus allowing an increased length of storage for export. Dear students, let us look into the enrichment activity. I want you to discuss with your friends and teacher on how your role in sustainable development by using biotechnology. Now, I think let us summarize our lessons today. Our first summarizations are more into the biotechnology definitions. What is biotechnology? Biotechnology is defined as application of organisms, biological systems, or biological processes for the knowledge, product, manufacture, and service industry. B. Biotechnology plays important roles in our life, for example, productions of food and beverages, agriculture, medicine, public health, fuel productions, enzymes technology, genetic engineering, mining, treatments of waste, and productions of chemicals. The last but not least is the application of biology in various areas, such as in food and beverages productions, which emphasized on fermentation and vitamin-enriched eggs. The second is agriculture, which focused on hybrid rice, herbicide-resistant plants, and transgenic fish. The next, medicines. The focus is more on human growth hormone, human insulin, and gene therapy, as well as forensic by looking into DNA fingerprinting. And the last would be public health, which will be more focused on genetic screening, diagnosis kits, and oil decomposing bacteria. Alright students, now we come to the end of the lesson. With this, I end my lesson here, and I hope and wish that information given throughout the lesson would be beneficial to all of you. Best regards and thank you.